All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Good to see everybody in the chat. As we can see here, guys, market opens in about 9 minutes here. So far, we have swept previous day's high, created a new all-time high. We're pretty premium right now. So we could potentially see some retracement, especially to this 4-hour fair value gap, which price may be in the process of doing now. We've also swept London low, and then keep in mind we have this 4-hour order block as well. So depending on how we close here, if we respect this, could be looking bullish. If we disrespect it, of course, definitely appears we could be reaching for that 4-hour gap. So we'll see if that's able to happen. We also have quite a bit happening on the 15-minute. We're consolidating here for quite a bit. Just inverted a 15-minute fair value gap to the upside. Found respect of this order block. Very nice pre-market sell-off off this 1-minute IFEG. And then we also just created a 5-minute IFEG as well. So will be interesting to see. We're respecting this 5-minute order block so far on close. We're also respecting the 15-minute bullish order block. So we're kind of in a ping pong between these two levels right now. And then of course above we have this 15-minute fair value gap, and we also have London high. So it will be kind of interesting to see what we create here. We just put in another low, so we do have these staggered lows down here. So it might make sense for it to come down there as well, but we'll just see. I'm thinking if we respect this 5-minute IFEG, we could be headed further down and just continue this run. But we also just inverted a fair value gap to the upside on the 1-minute. So just depends on where price wants to go. We got market open here in about 7 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the chat, and we'll see what we can find this session, guys. It is a Friday, so not sure if we have too much news. Actually, let me check the news schedule for today. What's going on, Sergio? What's up, Smoke? Riker? Welcome, everybody, to the chat. Good to see you, boys. And happy Friday as well to everybody else in the chat. So we got 10 a.m. orange folder, guys. But besides that, that's pretty much the only news catalyst that we've got as of today. So we'll see. We'll see. As of now, we can see the 15-minute order block. It's holding pretty well. Like I said, too, we also created this IFBG on the 1-minute tier, but we're still in the process of delivering bearish at the same time. So we got kind of these weird scenario. Oh, it looks like we're making that run up now off that IFEG. I'm thinking it'll probably reach for at least order block mean threshold or this 15-minute fair value gap up here. And then if we're doing New York reversal profile, we should see London high get taken. But if we're going to do New York continuation, we should see it find some sort of respect of either this level or potentially the 1-hour order block as well. But if we do close this 4-hour candle respecting this 4-hour order block, that is a pretty bullish sign. So we could just continue through at that point. But so far we've had two very nice moves during pre-market. And then the 5-minute's going to look kind of messy if it ends up closing like this, because we just got a whole bunch of overlapping fair value gaps. So this 5-minute IFVG is pretty much invalidated at this point. You can see we did not respect this on the second run through, but we've just tapped 15-minute order block mean threshold. And the 15 minutes looking pretty wild right now, to be honest. I almost took a stab at this short, to be honest with you guys, but it was just too pre-market, like 9:14, 9:15. Like, it's kind of a random time to be taking a trade, especially on a non-news day. Same thing with this one. It just wasn't as obvious as yesterday's. I think we'll end up reaching for this now. After grabbing this liquidity, it would make sense for it to potentially get up to here. We've got opening bell in 3 minutes though, guys. What's going on, Amro? Good morning. Good morning, brother. Welcome everybody else who's just joining in as well. Lots of volatility right now, which is interesting to see right before market open. This is usually the type of price you would see at opening bell. Oh my goodness. That is crazy. That's pretty insane. Not sure what prompted that, but pretty ridiculous run up pre-market. There's London high, guys. But like I said, if we end up finding respect to that 4-hour order block right here, it would be looking very bullish. So as long as we're able to close this, guys, I think we'll run much higher. But we may see an interesting scenario where this just grabs liquidity and starts to taper off from here. The only thing I wouldn't want to see is us like pull back into a consolidation and then the rest of our session is just kind of choppy. At that point, would probably be a situation where we want to look for another session. But we'll see what happens here at market open, guys. Some pretty huge fair value gaps here. Thinking if we form some sort of like inversion turtle soup here, I may be interested in something. See what happens after open. Price is looking kind of wild. Mainly paying attention to if we invert this gap or if we respect this gap on close. And it looks like we'll probably be respecting it. Nice. Do have a breaker block down here now. Might frame up a stop for an inversion fair value gap. 23,296 for a sell. I'm gonna have to drop that way down because we have a huge candle here. I'd probably want to see it pull back into that IFEG though if we do use that. At least a little bit. I'm going to wait to see if we respect this. We could just rip higher. Because we did sweep liquidity again down here. We touched that IFEG consequent encroachment. But if we end up closing and respecting this, continuing to sell off from there, maybe headed lower. As of now, it looks like we're probably headed a bit higher. Okay, and yeah, that is not very convincing for me as far as wanting to sell that thing. So we're going to go ahead and take that off, and we're just going to wait for price to kind of settle here. We swept consequent encroachment of this 15-minute wick as well, and then we created a 30-second IFEG. So I'm just going to let this calm down for a bit. Not really seeing much as of now. Thinking it's going to go higher, but not necessarily anything for me to tee off of. We do have a 15-minute breaker block here now. It did create a nice 5-minute IFEG there too on the bullish side. And then we came down, you can see that we respected that IFEG as well. But right now the 1 minute's kind of just all sorts of messy. Pretty crazy open though. Definitely was not expecting it to rip like that right before open. And it looks like it just put in a new all-time high as well. Interested to see what happens if we sweep this high. Or even consequent encroachment here, which it looks like we're about to sweep pretty soon. "24 more minutes in this 4-hour candle as well. So depending on how we close this 4-hour candle will probably determine the direction that we ultimately go. So far the 1 minute's still just doing a whole lot of chopping around here. Looking pretty messy. Yeah, this price action is pretty just erratic. It's not much you can really do with this. To be honest, most of the clean setups were pre-market. So unless you positioned on either this IFEG or this one down here, it's pretty much just waiting for price to get out of this 1 minute range here. I'm thinking eventually we'll either start moving higher or pricing lower to this 4 hour fair value gap, depending on how we close this 4 hour candle. So it may go to be a good like 20 minutes or so, 22 minutes before we can know with some kind of certainty where it may go. But right now these candles are just like back, forth, back and forth, back and forth. Looks like we may be touching consequent encroachment of this candle. Looks like we aren't really respecting that too well. Looks like we're going to hunt these lows down here. Do have quite a few lows down there. If we respect this IFEG on close, could be a bit of a bullish sign, but we didn't necessarily respect it at all on the 1 minute time frame. We've been just trading back and forth through it, so right now the 15-minute candles are just very indecisive. It'll like run super far one way, it'll make you think it's going to continue, then it'll pull back, then it'll run super far the other way, make you think it's going to continue, and then it'll just pull back. So whenever you see that, it's just best to let the 15 minutes settle down, especially if we've already done 1 or 2 passes over this same area. So other than that, you're just kind of guessing where it's going to close. You can see on the 1 minute too, no fair value gaps, no inversion fair value gaps to really go off of. We did invert this gap to the downside, which it looks like it's respecting, but we're also in a deep discount level and we just swept some lows, so it's not really the strongest confluence there. I'm going to go ahead and take these two off though, because it's kind of getting distracting at this point. You could argue that this is somewhat of a 2022 model fair value gap right here, but that is a stretch. I would not be looking to take that until we close a bearish engulfing candle. And then we could probably take this off too after this 15-minute candle closes, because this isn't really getting respected at all. Grab me some water. Go ahead and see what chat is saying. Yeah, we got that 4 hour fair value gap down there. I'm interested to see what price does down there. I was hoping to short into those 4 hour levels too, but it doesn't look like it's going to be clean enough for me to do that. But yeah, once we kind of get down there on the 4, could be looking at some good potential long opportunities. But we also got this order block right here, so it's going to be interesting to see how we close on the 4 hour here. Got 2 minutes left in this 15-minute candle. So far it's looking decently bearish, but we're still holding this 15-minute order block level. So I would prefer, if we're going lower, to see it just like close beyond there eventually. But that may be saved for the next 15-minute candle. And the 1 minute's just kind of hitting some slowdown here. We have orange folder at 10 o'clock too, so that could be what we're waiting for. Had a pretty wild pre-market movement, so it makes sense for it to kind of mark time for the meantime until that 10 o'clock release, and then they use that 10 o'clock release to kind of send it where they want to. Short to 4 hour fair value gap, but if not, probably wait for some longs. Yeah, I'm thinking that's probably the move for today. 15 minutes not giving us much to work with. "59 seconds left in this 15-minute candle. We'll see where we go ahead and want to close here today. Or not today, but on this candle. Interesting how the 5 minutes still respecting this on close, at least as of now. Looks like that may change here in a short matter of minutes. Did have a nice inversion there to the upside on the 5 minute. The 1 minute's definitely saying further down. Okay, so we closed respecting the order block once again, on the 15 at least. We did not respect that 5 minute IFVG. We're not really respecting the breaker either, and we weren't really respecting this level. So we're just going to take those levels off for now. We do have a new 15-minute order block technically. We did engulf this level, so this is technically an order block now on the 15. We're still respecting this 4-hour order block as of now. 13 minutes till close. So this 15-minute candle here will pretty much determine if we respect on that 4-hour level. Again, I'm not sure if this is going to actually respect or not, just because it just appears we're in a larger consolidation now. But nonetheless, it is a level. Yeah, it is a bit of a premium area, even in the higher time frames to long. So even if we respect here, I don't expect like a huge, massive run up. And if it does happen, it would be kind of random. But yeah, it would be nice to see a 1 hour bearish close or some sort of higher time frame or intraday bearish close. That way we can just like confirm that we're reaching here. Sometimes on like Fridays or non-news days, especially when we do a huge daily run and we kind of top out, sometimes the following day they like leave a super obvious level for it to reach for in terms of retracement, but sometimes they just keep it up here, which is kind of frustrating. But definitely is a day where you want to demand a little extra confirmation in terms of closures. Looks like we're clearing that 15-minute order block level pretty nicely here. We also inverted that to the upside, so could just be seeing some more chop, guys. Could just be seeing a little bit more consolidation. We also got 12 minutes till that news release. So we got the news release, the 4-hour candle, 1-hour candle, and the next 15-minute candle, closing all at the same time. So we'll probably just wait for that. Nothing much to do at this current moment. These are honestly the days where if you made profit for the week, or if you made decent profit for the week at least, whenever you see this, you might just want to consider it as your day off. You might just want to start your weekend early. It's never a bad thing to do. Or you just got to accept that you're going to be waiting a little bit longer to take your setup. But the streams have been picking up again, guys. Appreciate you all being in the chat. Appreciate your guys' consistency. It's been probably 4 days back. Yeah, about 4 days back so far. And we've already got a good, 14 to 20 live viewers on most of the streams. And after they're published, most of the streams have been breaking 100 views again. So it's looking nice, guys. Want to keep this momentum going. And as from before, where I was kind of planning to like have a premium stream and a free stream, I'm thinking now I'm just going to do the free streams, and the way I'm going to monetize is just simply through AdSense and through prop firms. So I'm working on getting an affiliate code with My Funded Futures and with Take Profit Trader. So that way we can give you guys some discounts, and then we can also generate some money for the channel as well without having to charge for streams or sell a course or do any of that type of bullshit. So yeah, that's what was kind of hanging me up for a little bit, because I had a few of you guys paying for the premium streams, but I kind of missed the vibes of the free streams. So I was like, how can I still have this be a business but also make it work for everybody? And I think we found the solution here, guys. And I don't really give too much of a fuck about monetizing like a course or nothing like that either. I feel like it just kind of messes with my trading. Looks like we are making our way slowly up back to these highs up here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens after we sweep these highs, or if we just want to stay in this little area. But we did invert this gap right here. It's looking like we're finding some decent respect of it. At least we were finding some decent respect of it. Jeez. Very, very random today, guys. Very, very random. That was super interesting. We don't even have news yet either, so appears we do have quite a bit of manual intervention going on. It'll also be a bearish, very bearish sign if we respect that 1 hour fair value gap on close. Didn't even really notice that until now, but if we do end up closing like that, that is a pretty bearish sign there. And we could be making that reach down now off of that IFEG right here, so I'm personally not going to touch it until the 4 hour candle closes. But if we do close that 4 hour candle down like this, and we have inverted that gap right there, and may want to reach for that. But I would hold off until we officially close the 4 hour candle. This is definitely a seek and destroy profile right here though. Or at least close to seek and destroy. It's a mix between seek and destroy and consolidation profile right now. So 6 more minutes, guys. Right? It's like news hasn't even started yet, but we got a pretty sharp move down right there. Yeah, definitely some trickery happening right now. Let's check the 5 minute real quick. 5 minutes just a mess as well. It is kind of hinting at a sell-off here, especially if we leave these two relative equal lows. We just took all of these lows though, so in the short term we could definitely see some buying up, but nothing that would convince me that we're gonna leave the range right away. Five more minutes left on these candles though, guys. It's very tempting to go ahead and just short this, like to just go ahead and slap a short on, especially if we get that closure in 5 minutes. It'd be very tempting to just slap a sell on, but not sure if I would want to do that. If we were at more of like a equilibrium slash maybe slightly under a premium, I would maybe do it, but right at the lows with the way price is moving, I'll probably just let it sell off and then look for buys down here. It could come up to retest that little IFEG too. You may even be able to put your stop above here, above the one hour candle. And if this gap gets respected, you could probably anticipate a sell-off down there. So stop above the 1 hour fair value gap candle. You also have that order block to protect you if we invert here. What would that stop be? 23,281. It's not a trade yet. I don't even know if I'm going to take that because I don't typically execute on the 1 hour, but it is looking like a decent stop. And you would have some protected highs as well, so wouldn't be the worst trade in the world if you're looking for that sell-off. We also have a 15-minute IFEG right there. You just don't want to travel too far from that, otherwise your stop gets pretty wide here. So will be interesting to see what ends up happening there, guys. 2 minutes and 45 seconds left. I may tee off on that with half risk, depending on if we can stay pretty close to this level. But if we get too far and start basically touching the top of this before then, it's not going to be looking very ideal. But it is a trade idea if any of you guys want to do that. We do have that news event though, so it would be advisable to wait a couple minutes after that, like not like right as it's closing, but wait to see if we get a manipulation up, because it could also reach a little higher than that right after news release. So that's what I'll probably end up doing. I'll wait for it to manipulate off news, and if it looks like it's finding respect of either the 1 hour order block or the fair value gap, at that point I'd be willing to position in there. But it has to engulf that. If it just pulls back and we close right at it, or if it's barely an engulfing candle, it's not really looking the best. It has to actually engulf that. Got 1 more minute here, guys. This is the 1 minute candle of truth here. It'll determine how we close. So far it's looking like we're going to get that closure down. Let's check the 4 hour real quick too. So far we're closing below that order block as well. So unless we pull back in there significantly, it's looking like we'll probably end up closing, getting that bearish closer that we're looking for. At that point there'd be no draw on liquidity up either, so it is looking like a decent opportunity. Five seconds, guys. 5 seconds. Yep, and that's why you wait, guys. Strong manipulation up right there. Very strong manipulation up. So I'll let this 1 minute candle close. Do we take consequent encroachment of that wick? Does not look like it. Yeah, that may actually just conclude my interest in that previous setup that I was looking for. I still think it'll reach down there, but I would have rather just seen our direction be confirmed right off bat. And that was not necessarily what happened. So at this point it is giving more consolidation than continuation down, especially after this huge wick. Let's check the 5 minute real quick. 5 minutes still looking pretty boxy as well, so not sure, guys. Maybe if we get this inversion down, it'll be a sign, but we barely closed below these lows here. Just like not really even at all. So I'm going to pass on that one. We'll just wait for further confirmation in whatever direction price decides to go. We do have this big fair value gap right here that we seem to be respecting pretty well. But yeah, guys, not too much to look at here. Pretty ugly in terms of price. Not even gonna lie. I'll probably stay on for maybe 2 more 15-minute candles. At that point, if we haven't reached for anything else, probably gonna conclude my interest for the day. So if we continue to stay in this, there's not much reason to keep watching. What is this low? 23,251. 23,25125. So yeah, those are relative equal lows. What would this stop be? 23,272. 72. May go ahead and tee off on a sell there, guys. It's looking like it's wanting to reach now. I'll go ahead and take off half at the 4-hour level. Take off 5 there and let the rest run. Nice 5-minute closure. Just want to see this thing keep reaching down here. Do have quite a few lows, but I still believe in the 4-hour draw. So we're just going to continue to hold. It's still looking very bearish. Want to see a nice closure here on the 1 minute. Beautiful closure there. Go ahead and see us reach for that 4-hour level. We also don't have a draw on liquidity up on the 15-minute at least. So it makes sense for it to continue to just start drawing down. I'm going to BE stop as soon as we hit that level. Come on, price. Yeah, I may go ahead and partial off there. May go ahead and partial off, move stop to BE. Not that I don't think it can get down there, but we do have a lot of lows that we just took, and I'd rather not see us not be able to squeeze out anything at all. And I think I'm going to take the rest off there, guys. It's just reaching a bit too high for me. I think we'll reach for that fair value gap up here. And I don't like the way it's pulling back in, so it's got to be nimble sometimes with it. I would have really loved to just see it reach for that all the way down there, but it's not really the type of 15-minute candle that we're getting right now, so probably just going to leave that for now. It's worth a shot. Got out with no heat. Managed the position nimbly. Now I think you could see a sell-off from here, but I'm not going to chase it as the 15-minute candle is already pulling back into above that relative equal low level. You may be able to give that a second chance, guys. I'm not saying that it's not going to reach down there, but for me personally, I would have rather just seen it run. ES has equal highs off of data highs. So maybe reaching up there. Yeah, like these ones up here. This one and this one. And we have these two 15-minute highs up here as well. So could be looking at a potential reversal. I just don't know where it, I guess it swept this low here. It did leave this low intact. But on the 1 hour, we also had a lot of wicks here. So we could have been respecting like a wick consequent encroachment of some sort. Not sure if it would be on the 4 hour or the 1 hour. But either way, it's looking like it's not wanting to reach down there right now to that 4 hour. If we wanted to reach down there, we would already be significantly in this gap. But the fact that we're not right away just makes me feel like price is going to hold it here for a little bit longer. Or they're just going to run for it without any confirmation, which is not ideal either. So we'll see what ends up happening here, guys. I think if this gap gets inverted on the upside right here, it may be good buy opportunity, but I don't want to put you guys in anything that the intraday doesn't really have confirmation for. Yeah, we already took London low too way earlier in the day and Asia low, so could have been enough liquidity for us to not want to go lower immediately. Looks like we may be reaching down there now though. Let me just take this off of here temporarily. Did we reach into that? Okay, we did reach into that fair value gap there. So we could definitely be headed lower. At this point, I wouldn't want to sell it though, just in case we do find respect right at the top of the fair value gap. Because it's never a guarantee that it's going to consequent encroachment. And if it does find respect there, you don't really have any room to break even your stop. It would have been more advisable to get in right there. Yeah, if you want to have like one contract on or a couple contracts on and hold for it, it's probably a good move. It does seem to be holding down there quite nicely. It's just we are in a bit of a holding pattern. I think if we get this 15-minute closure beyond these lows, though, we'll probably end up reaching for it at that point. That'll be some decent confirmation. We also have a 5-minute volume imbalance here. Yeah, I think we might go ahead and reach for that now in the next couple minutes. We'll see. I'm interested in if any buy opportunities form down there, to be honest. Either from the fair value gap or from the breaker here. So that may be something I consider. If it takes too long though, because it could just get down here and start consolidating too after all of this movement. So it'll depend on how the 15 and the hour is looking once we get down there. But I'll stick around for probably 3 or so more 15-minute candles, see if anything else develops. If you're still in shorts right now, I think you're good to probably hold a small little position. True, it might have not enough juice in the tank too, being it a Friday. So they may just want to close it down there, which would make sense too, because we had a huge run up, taper off a little bit, close somewhere around here, leave a fair value gap for the following Monday. So that may be what we see here too today, guys. And it looks like we're getting that reach now. But yeah, a win is a win, guys. As long as you manage your position and you let price manage your position and not your P&L. If I was trading my P&L here, I would have just been like, oh, it's not enough profit. I'm just going to go ahead and hold, YOLO it. And this could have very easily came and manipulated up here and then started going down. I would still be in this position right now if I would have held the full thing. But I would have also waited and been kind of stressing myself out for a good 6 or 7 minutes here, and then it barely just took TP1. So depends on how you trade. Me personally, I like to see momentum. So if I don't see at least momentum to my TP1, I'm looking for reasons to get out. But it does look like it's reaching now. So if you're still in that, you can hold for consequent encroachment. Nothing wrong with a small win in day two. I'm not tripping over it, especially it being that most of the week was break even. So this plus what we made yesterday puts me in the green for the week. So not complaining about that. And then these challenges should be passed by early next week. Nice closure on the 15 too. So that closure was good to send us down there. Yeah, Swift, that 50K account, that eval's looking good too. $23,174.75 for the bottom tick. Let's see where that is. 23,174. Yeah, it could be a nice level. I think maybe if we get down there, though, we might end up reaching for the breaker. But sometimes the 4-hour doesn't even really respect the breakers. Breaker blocks are kind of interesting. Like sometimes they respect, but I feel like they're just not a very significant level unless they're like perfectly positioned and a discount or a premium relative to where you're going. Like rarely do I trust just a breaker unless there's a fair value gap with it. But in this case we have a fair value gap and a breaker. True, yeah, they get respected on close too. So they're good confirmation for like closure. Like 15-minute, it'll like wick way past it, and then if it closes respecting the breaker, then you know, okay, my direction's probably confirmed pretty decently. But yeah, other than that, they're kind of, at least on the lower time frames, they seem to kind of not respect them very well, at least on close. Let's see, do we have any other levels that would prevent us getting down there? Doesn't look like it. This is a 1 hour order block though as well, guys, so keep that in mind. I do still think it'll draw to that consequent encroachment. It may even draw to this 1 hour fair value gap down there, but this is a 1 hour fair value gap that we're in right now as well. And the 15, so if it does not reach for the consequent encroachment down there, that is probably why. What would be nice to see is another big 15-minute candle. Find respect to consequent encroachment down here, or that 15-minute fair value gap down there. And then leave this 15-minute fair value gap open. Then we could potentially use that as a draw on liquidity back up here. We got 10 more minutes in this 15-minute candle though, so we'll see how the rest of this play delivers here. What time is it? 10:20. Yeah, we'll see how this candle closes, guys. If we don't end up reaching down here, I'll probably end up hopping off for the day. Has anybody tried the My Funded Futures trade copier, like the one that's built into My Funded Futures? I just saw that they added that. It's like a cloud-based trade copier. I might go ahead and try that out because, as we can see, the Apex copier gave me $100 short of my profit on 2 of the accounts, which is quite ridiculous if I'm being honest. $50, $30, $25. I've been like, okay, it's just some discrepancy. But $100, guys, that is just pure robbery right there. So, not that I'm gonna hop on and revenge trade over that shit, but that is kind of ridiculous. Apex copier, we need a fix. We need to do some updating here of the system. This is not Forex. It's like we may be getting that sell-off now. Maybe reaching down there now. I'll go ahead and outline these 2 15-minute gaps just so we have them here. Beautiful. Yeah, we did find some pretty nice respect to that. So far we haven't delivered any type of like reversal pattern to the upside. I mean, we did kind of break structure there, but that wasn't really even a swing high. Had a small fair value gap right there, but I wouldn't really consider that. 30-second, we have somewhat of a 2022 model. Very sloppy 2022 model. Five minutes, just all kinds of crazy right now. Five more minutes in this candle, guys. We'll see what ends up happening here. For you PM session traders, there might be a nice intraday move on PM today. Once price kind of finds its way through these levels here. See if we reach for anything in these final 5 minutes here, guys. Definitely would not have wanted to hold through all of this though. It still hasn't reached the final TP yet, so definitely glad I got out when I did, because this is delivered very indecisively. Looks like we may be reaching for that now though. Pretty bearish remaining 5 minutes of this 15-minute candle. Not sure if we'll reach for that second gap. If we do, we'll probably wick up from it and then close respecting the first 15-minute gap. I don't really see us inverting both of these gaps on this one candle. Also, guys, go ahead and like up the stream too if you've enjoyed this session. If you've enjoyed the analysis, go ahead and drop a like on the stream here. Helps the algo. Nice reach into that 15-minute fair value gap, the second one that we got here. And final TP has been hit on the 4-hour fair value gap. It's also a good lesson about timing too. Like, just because you know there's an obvious draw on liquidity that will eventually get hit doesn't mean it's going to get hit right now or right this session or right this candle. There were a lot of times in here that would have get someone caught up, like this IFEG here. A lot of people probably entered that trying to target this level, got stopped out. A lot of people probably got in there a second time, got a runner stopped out or got stopped out at break even. A lot of people also probably tried to sell off here, got stopped out. You know, even us or me specifically tried to time that here, got my runner stopped out at break even. And then there's even some people who probably tried to sell off here and got a runner stopped at break even. So there is timing is important. definitely waiting for extra confirmation, especially when you know it's already choppy. But you see, ultimately we did get there. So you can be right about the higher time frame draw and liquidity, but wrong about the entry and intraday narrative of when it's going to reach for it. So it's a little bit more nuanced than just, oh, there's a draw in liquidity, let me just take a trade. And eventually it just becomes kind of intuitive. Like based on the way price is moving, you kind of develop like an intuition for it. Not to say that you can trade purely intuitively, like, oh, I have a feeling it's going down, but it's technicals plus experience. 56 seconds left in this 15-minute candle, guys. Swift final TP was hit. Beautiful, beautiful. Posting recap calendar in Discord. Yes, sir. Post that recap up. Was this a valid 2022 model entry? Posted in the Discord as well, Raf. Post that entry in the Discord. This one right now is not a... This is not a 2022 model right now. It did invert a fair value gap on the 30-second, but in order for 2022 model, we need a swing high, we need a sweep of a low, break a structure, and then it leads behind a fair value gap. So if we want a 2022 here, we need to see like something like that. Boom. The fair value gap right there. Okay, we have closed that 15-minute candle. We also inverted this gap. We're still respecting this 15-minute candle though. Be interesting to see if we reach lower for the breaker. Yeah, I think we might, just because equilibrium is right there. So if we reach that far down, we're likely to at least like tap the top of the breaker. But yeah, guys, I'm thinking that'll probably conclude the session for me. Not really seeing too much, and I think price will probably start slowing down quite significantly here. If not, just continue the sell-off, and we're no longer in that position. So, beautiful Friday, though, guys. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Appreciate you all for being here. We will be back again live. I'm undecided yet if I'm going to trade Monday, because it is a non-news Monday, and typically I like to avoid that. So if I'm not back here on Monday, I'll be back here on Tuesday, same time, same place. If you guys want to post your recaps or anything like that, or if you just want to follow the daily analysis, the stream schedule, whatever, you can join the free Discord as well. Link is in my YouTube description. But other than that, guys, have a blessed weekend. Enjoy your time away from the markets. Get some studying in. And we'll see you back here next week, guys. Peace out. Peace out, everybody. See you, Smoke. Have a great one, brother. See you, Swift, Riker, Raf, everybody else who's still in here. Sergio. We'll see you guys next time. I'm out.